William and his younger brother George found themselves alone at home one night, living in a neighborhood not known for being safe. Especially at 1 a.m., they decided to go for a walk. They were relatively new to the area, having just moved from Chicago and planning to leave soon. As they stepped outside, the brothers, armed with chips given by their parents, roamed the quiet streets. The night was so still that even the slightest sound would be audible. Despite the apparent calm, a chilling encounter awaited them. In the cold, they noticed a man sitting alone. It was an odd sight, considering the late hour. The stranger, towering at 6 feet 4 inches, approached the brothers. George, the younger of the two at 15, handed him some chips upon request. The man, seemingly ordinary, devoured the chips with childlike enthusiasm, even using his fingers. The strange encounter took a more unsettling turn when he asked for their names. Navigating through the bizarre conversation, the man insisted on company, stating that eating chips alone wasn't enjoyable. As he inquired about their residence, George provided a false location, a wise move given the circumstances. The man, seemingly pleased, asked about a person named Smith, prompting confusion and fear. Attempting to leave, William and George were stopped by the man placing a firm hand on William's shoulder. The strength of the grip and the strange questions continued, creating an atmosphere of discomfort. William, feeling trapped, played along, providing answers to the man's increasingly strange queries. The encounter reached an unsettling peak when the man posed a disturbing question about what would be more painful, forcing William to choose between acid and a knife. William replied acid with fear. Opting to leave, the man whispered a chilling "go away." The brothers ran home, closing all windows and doors, seeking refuge from the bizarre and eerie encounter. Despite their efforts to escape, the night brought another disturbance. At 3:30 a.m., a knock on the door startled William awake. Peering through the window, he saw a figure with something in both hands, staring at the location George had falsely mentioned to the creepy man. Closing the window, William heard a faint laughter, intensifying the sense of being watched. Morning brought no relief as a box at the doorstep contained the same chips, a knife, and a paper with a sad face. The unsettling encounter from the night before had left an indelible mark on William and George's minds, casting a shadow of fear over their daily lives.
In the quiet town of Ravensbrück, a haunting tale echoed through its worn-out streets. A mysterious force known only as the Saver. Whispers suggested that it held the power to alter destinies, sparing certain individuals from dark and harrowing fates. Some believed they had caught glimpses of its ethereal silhouette, while others dismissed it as nothing more than the product of the town's collective imagination. At the heart of this eerie narrative were three inseparable friends: Jake, James, and Beth. Their bond was forged in the crucible of shared secrets and childhood adventures. Unbeknownst to Jake, his mother had met a tragic end at the hands of a psychopath, leaving him with a lingering sorrow that cast shadows over his life. The weight of this tragedy bore down on Jake as the news of his mother's demise unfolded on the grainy screen of a flickering television in the dimly lit living room. The news anchor's voice was a distant echo as Jake stared in disbelief at the images of the crime scene. The chilling realization struck him like a thunderbolt. His mother, a victim of a psychopath's brutality, her eyes stolen in a grotesque act of violence. One day, Beth, the mastermind behind their mischievous escapades, devised a plan to seek out the Saver. With whispers of its existence swirling through the town, Beth convinced Jake and James to join her on a journey to the infamous road where the mysterious entity was said to reveal itself. On an ominous night, Beth played her cards carefully, suggesting that Jake and she should walk together, with James trailing behind to watch for wild animals. She insisted it was for protection, arguing that James, though not a tough guy, could keep watch for any lurking dangers in the darkness. As night descended, the three friends embarked on their quest, guided by Beth's relentless curiosity. The moon cast an eerie glow over Ravensbrück, and the trio walked along the road where shadows seemed to morph and dance, with the echoes of the town's whispered legends. It was on this haunted road that the Saver chose to unveil itself to them, plunging Jake into a nightmarish vision. Within the dim-lit corridors of his home, the ghastly scene unfolded. He stumbled upon his deceased mother, a victim of the psychopath's brutality. In her lifeless hand, she held an eye, and the atmosphere reeked of dread as she whispered, "Whose eye is this, Jake?" Chilled to the bone, Jake recoiled, recognizing the eye as his own. The psychopath denied Jake as his prey, had claimed another innocent life instead. James, the unsuspecting friend who had joined the quest for the Saver. The hallway twisted and contorted, shadows morphing into grotesque shapes that played sinister tricks on Jake's senses. The Saver, unseen and unheard, observed as Jake grappled with the grotesque truth, a truth that linked him inexorably to the malevolent guardian of Ravensbrook's dark secrets. As the spectral echoes of the hallway faded, Jake found himself back on the road, the weight of gratitude mingling with the horror of what transpired. The Saver, having revealed itself to an unwitting soul, continued its silent vigil, ensuring Jake's survival while leaving behind the lingering specter of the psychopath's twisted trophy. An eye that now served as a chilling reminder of the dance with fate and the terrifying cost of salvation. In the shadows cast by the moon, Jake's eyes widened as he turned to Beth, his supposed friend. In the dim light, he saw a malevolent gleam in her eyes, a chilling revelation that Beth, the orchestrator of the quest for the Saver, was the very psychopath who had taken his mother's life and claimed James as the sacrificial innocent. The twisted dance with fate, it seemed, had an orchestrator far more sinister than any legend could foretell. The nightmarish vision, orchestrated by the Saver, etched the eternal pain of witnessing James's death in front of Jake. A friend turned victim, and Beth revealed as the perpetrator. The emotional scars ran deep, and the specter of that night cast a haunting shadow over Jake's soul, a constant reminder of the betrayal and the heavy price paid for tampering with the threads of fate.